Good morning, everyone, and happy early Halloween. We are coming up in about a week to the spooky season of Halloween, and today we're going to talk about some Halloween poison safety. My name's Amanda, and I'm the Community Outreach Coordinator here at the Missouri Poison Center. And with me today is Julie Weber. She is the Director of the Poison Center here for the Missouri Poison Center. So we're going to go ahead and get started on one topic that is related to Halloween, which is face paint.
Wonderful. Great. Happy Halloween, a bit early to everyone. And this is one of my favorite subjects to talk about, is to get into the spirit of Halloween. So the face paint, we really need to be cautious with our young children, in the fact that we want to make sure that they're not sensitive to it. So it is a much safer alternative if we want to not block their vision when they're out trick-or-treating. And we want to just make sure, one, when we pick the product, with the different makeup kits, it usually says non-toxic, but you really want to watch for that extra statement that says safety tested. If you can't see either of those on the packaging, either way, always do some testing on your child before the big day of painting their whole face or some part of their face. So what you want to do is take some of the face paint, and we are real sensitive on the inside of our arm. Take a small spot and put some of the face paint in that area, and then watch it for about 30 to 60 minutes to see if they have any reaction. And if they do get some red, irritated skin, that's a good signal to everyone to not to use that face paint, and to maybe just do a simple mask, or maybe even try another brand. All right. Also, with the different face paints out there, what we want to just be cautious with is also watching to believe they're fully non-toxic. If you think it's non-toxic, just make sure you're using a good brand and quality. All right, let's go to our next topic, which is going to be the glow jewelry. So with the glow jewelry, I think it's one of the brightest things out there and is ever so popular. And kids love the different glow jewelry masks. There's different bracelets. There's anything out there. This is definitely one of our most popular calls around the holiday season, starting with the trunk or treats that happen early, all the way through up to 10 p.m. or later on Halloween. And what happens, they're so bright, they're intriguing to children, and usually they chew on it, or if they bend it a lot and keep playing with it, it can accidentally break open. And with that, the chemical in there has a very scary name, dibutyl phthalate. But fortunately, it's not very poisonous at all. It's really relatively low in toxicity and may cause just some minor irritation in the mouth if it's ingested. Now, what worries me a little bit more, if it does splash into the eyes, that can cause some irritation. And what we need to do immediately is to start rinsing or splashing some water into the eye, and to get that chemical out of there, and then to immediately call the Poison Center. One of our nurses or pharmacists here can then walk you through the proper steps to rinse out the eye, and then we can follow up to make sure that the irritation's going away. The other thing that's great with the glow sticks and calling the Poison Center is to just know it is a good way to light the way. And then also on our website, we have information, but I love to that also you can be prepared to go to our website and look at one of our first aid videos to learn how to rinse out the eye in case a mishap would happen. Our next topic is dry ice, which I just love using around Halloween to put it into a cauldron and to give it that spooky feeling. But with dry ice comes another caution, that we have to be extremely cautious when handling it. And the dry ice can really reach up to a negative 110 degrees Celsius. So there's a risk for frostbite or a burn if you would handle it without mitts or proper protection. The other thing with the dry ice that we really need to learn and watch out about is how we store it. Dry ice should, one, only really use it under adult supervision. As I mentioned, No bare hands. You might want to use metal tongs or an oven mitt. And really, you need to use dry ice in a well-ventilated area. So like if you're transporting it home in your car, make sure you have the windows open. And also if you're storing it like in a styrofoam container or some kind of bag, make sure that the lid or the bag's not closed tightly. You want to get some air in and out. The reason is what happens, that's kind of a fun fact, is that dangerous carbon dioxide gas can build up if it's sealed too tightly. So that's where we got to watch out for. And the other thing that I always caution parents, or even when you're having one of those teen parties, don't put dry ice into ice cubes or directly into the punch or drink that they're going to have. If one of those cubes would get into the mouth, it too could cause a burn or into the mouth or throat. So definitely, you kind of have to put it into a container and then have your punch into a separate container if you're serving it out of there and want to give it that spooky sensation. Also, when it gets time to dispose of it, you do not want to use or expose any unused dry ice into a sink or a toilet, because actually those extreme temperatures that it has can actually damage the structure of the porcelain that it's poured into. All right, candy and treats. This fun fact I just thought was amazing to hear. In the United States, around Halloween, we consume over 600, I believe it was billion, maybe million, I think million, 600 million pounds of candy, which is unbelievable. There are some tips though with the candy when we go out. I know it was always used to be a fight in our house between my husband and son who was going to get that candy. So with trick-or-treating, when we're out there, we know kids are get hungry or very enticed by those treats. It's really important to stress to your child when they're out trick-or-treating is not to eat anything before they can bring it home and get a full inspection done. So with that, maybe take some treats along with you. You then know that they're safe, that there's no tampering, they're not old. It's going to be a safety for your child. I think another thing that I heard just recently and thinking about it, if your child has allergies, also you want to take those type of treats with you that you know is not going to be a problem for them. And if say, maybe there's your child has a peanut or a nut allergy and has a reaction, it might just be good in case they get that piece of candy and when you don't see it, to have your EpiPen with you just in case there could be an accident while you're trick-or-treating. Other things to do with trick-or-treating with the candy is just, again, go to homes where you think or that you definitely know the families. You don't want to be going to all different areas and then later being worried about those risks from the candy. All right, and then safety. We always talk about safety at the Poison Center, and we talk about the different types of candy safety, the different face paints, glow sticks, and then when it gets into safety of lighting the way while we're out trick-or-treating. Flashlights are usually something that we have that as the parent we carry along, or our kids might be older and on their own carrying a flashlight. There's different kinds out there, and they do contain batteries. We have the risk of the small disc batteries all the way up to the double D batteries. And what we really want to be cautious with, all batteries are really a caution. I think of the double D or C or double A batteries, just to make sure that they're not corrosive in case that comes open the flashlight and none of the corrosion from the battery gets onto the child's skin. So check that. But then if you have the small button or disc batteries, those are things that really throw up red flags for us. And if a child would ingest one of those button batteries, especially the lithium batteries, that can lodge into the throat or go down into the stomach. And the problem with that is that it can cause a burn and it can cause a perforation into the intestines or the throat. So if you do have any of the button battery flashlights, there's usually the little pen flashlights, you really want to make sure you don't have children under 5 and under using those. There's other safe alternatives to use and to stay away from those. If by chance you do think your child swallowed a button battery, immediately call the Missouri Poison Center. We're here 24/7, and one of the nurses or pharmacists who are specially trained would be able to help ask certain questions to see if we're able to watch the child at home, or in the need we do have to send you into the hospital. What we'll do ahead of time is call that emergency department, give our treatment recommendations, and follow through to make sure things are okay. And the same goes for at home too. Whenever you give us a call, you should receive a call back in an hour or maybe a few hours, just to make sure that we want to make sure you don't have further questions and to make sure everything's staying okay. So these are a lot of tips that are coming your way, but definitely it'll help keep the fun in your Halloween evening.
All right. Thank you very much, Julie. Nobody wants to experience a poisoning on Halloween or any time of year. So it is really important to kind of be prepared for these potential hazards this Halloween, but also just to make ourselves aware and save the poison helpline if and when you do need it. We are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on Halloween night. If you have a question related to something that we've talked about today or another type of household poison, feel free to call. That phone number is 1-800-222-1222. And save that number in your phone right now so you have it in case of an emergency or even just a question. If you have it saved, then you can reach us very quickly. So thank you very much for your attention, and I hope that you have a great and safe Halloween.
Thank you. Happy Halloween, everyone.